Hello, and welcome to episode 20 of the Kpop Weekly Podcast with Emily Mallon. I'm your host. I'm so happy you joined me for yet another week of Kpop reviews, news, and anything else I feel like talking about. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. I do this show weekly. New episodes drop every Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. For my loyal listeners, my loyal viewers, thank you for joining me again. Thank you for coming back every week. I'm having so much fun building this community, and this is just the beginning. Stick with me. This is going to be fun. But 20 weeks, my goodness, does that mean 5 months? Time is flying. This week, it's time to talk about 10, the man, the myth, the legend. 10 from NCT dropped his first solo mini album. We've got 6 songs. I'm going to give you my thoughts on this one. And a group called 8Turn. This was a listener request. Yes, you can do that. Patreon subscribers get preferred requests, but I do take requests from everyone. So if you have a group you want me to review, if there's a comeback coming up and you're not sure I'm going to talk about it, and you think I would vibe with the group, or maybe you're just interested to hear my review and my honest opinion on the music, please slide into the DMs, shoot me an email. There's many ways you can reach out. You can also join Patreon for free. There's weekly discussions that are free for everyone, plus a lot of other fun stuff for members, including polls, playlists, and more conversation. There's a lot of fun membership benefits, and there will be a discount for my Patreon members when the merch store opens. Oh, merch is not that easy to put together. Maybe I'm too much of like a hyper perfectionist with it, but I don't want to sell a sweatshirt that fits weird or that shrinks after the first wash or a t-shirt that's itchy. And like, there's a lot of quality control stuff that I've been kind of bumping up against, but I have some really great designs. I think you guys are going to like it, and it's just around the corner. I promise. Speaking of my Patreon, speaking of my lovely subscribers, let's get to some poll questions, shall we? Because we have a lot of questions from last week. So P1 Harmony had a new release. It was kind of a mixed bag for me. I liked a few of the songs on the album a lot, but the single was just okay. It didn't quite get there for me. So I had to ask my listeners, my viewers, my Patreon subscribers, what did you think of Killing It by P1 Harmony? The choices were loved it, not for me, or it was okay. Positive response here from you guys. 0% said not for me. 50% of you said it was okay, and the other 50% loved it. So, a positive response from you. I think you guys may have been feeling it a little more than me. Next question, pretty basic. I reviewed CIX, and I just kind of wanted to know where my listeners are. Do you stan them or not? 40% of you stan CIX. 60% of you said no. You're not a fan. Good to know. Keeping with CIX, I was very much on the fence about lovers or friends. So I had to ask you, what did you think? The choices, loved it. Not for me. It was okay. This one is split down the middle. There's so much symmetry in these votes sometimes. 33% for each of the choices. Loved it. Not for me. It was okay. So very, very split on CIX. And of my listeners and viewers, more of you don't stan them than stan. Again, this is just interesting for me because poll questions, besides it just being fun for everyone, I always like to vote in polls, and it's really fun for me to see, who wins. But it also helps me in framing who I'm going to review, their comeback moving forward, who I want to spend more time talking about, because I want to give my listeners and viewers stuff that I know you're passionate about. That said, I always try to deliver a varied episode, meaning the hugest acts are going to get reviewed, and then maybe some slept on groups or a solo artist you've never heard of. So I don't, people not standing a group doesn't mean I'm never going to review them again, but it just gives me some insight. So I really appreciate that. Let's get back to these questions though. I talked last week about the postponement of Crazy Super Concert. and how there's kind of an issue here with K-pop festivals. I wrote about it in the newsletter. If you want to read the newsletter, the link is in the description of this episode. That's also free. So I'm giving you guys lots of free stuff. But I talked about it last week, and I think there's a major issue for K-pop festivals. And it got me thinking how some fans would rather just go see their favorites for 2-3 hours than see their favorites sing 2 or 3 songs and a bunch of acts that maybe they're not as enthusiastic about. I took it to you, my listeners and viewers. The question was, would you rather go to a K-pop festival or the individual concert of your favorite artists? 100% of you said individual concert. 100%. I add my vote. It's still 100%. I'm with you. I think these K-pop festivals are a little bit in trouble as the economy's changed. As we have more distance from the pandemic, after the pandemic, everyone was so excited to go to as many K-pop concerts as possible. And now with prices and everything else, you have to pick and choose. I know I do. I mean, I live in LA. Every act comes here, or almost every act. If they're coming to the States, they're going to come to LA. And I feel like a few years ago, I would have bought a ticket for every K-pop concert. Now I'm much more choosy with who I decide to spend my money on because tickets are expensive. It's expensive. So I think a lot of people are in the same boat here, and we'd rather just pay for a ticket at our favorites concerts instead of going to a festival where maybe you don't stan most of the groups and you're only there to see 1 or 2 groups. It is disappointing when they only do 2 songs. It's like, wait, what? So interesting. I'm interested to see how KCON does this summer. I think KCON has an advantage because they get a phenomenal lineup. They're very much in the know of what fans want. So I'm not worried for KCON, but I'm definitely a little worried for WeBridge coming up. We'll see how that one goes. Okay, that's it for the poll questions. If you want to vote in the poll, become a Patreon member. And there's poll questions up every week. There's a lot of fun stuff, and we're really building a community on there. And if you are a Patreon member, don't be shy. Say hello, participate in the conversations. This is a way to kind of build the community, and I'm on there all the time. So let's be friends. Speaking of the community, I want to give a shout out to specific locations that are listening. I did this on New York City K-pop Queens. I might start doing it on this show. We'll see, because I'm getting listeners from all over the world again. And it's overwhelming and so cool. But my top 5 countries for the K-pop Weekly podcast. Number 1 is the United States. No shocker. Clearly, I'm American. I live in LA. Number 2, South Korea. South Korea, thank you for listening. Thank you for caring what a girl in Los Angeles thinks about K-pop and thinks about this world. That means a lot. Number 3, Indonesia. Indonesia loves K-pop. Thank you for listening. 4, Japan. Yes, that makes sense. And number 5, India. So shout out to all of those countries. I have a lot of viewers, a lot of listeners. My top 10 also has Mexico, UK, France. France loves K-pop. Europe really loves K-pop. I'm excited that you're getting concerts and festivals over there. I've got to be real. That Hyde Park festival is calling my name. I was already excited for Stray Kids. It's in London. It's in the summer. That could be fun. Then I just found out that Robbie Williams is doing Saturday night. Stray Kids are Sunday. Robbie is Saturday. If you know me, Robbie is like, I adore Robbie Williams. I'm the biggest Robbie Williams fan. So, is anyone going? Are any of you going? Let me know. Let me know. It's kind of a pipe dream for now, but that's going to be amazing. And then European fans also get to see Stray Kids at Milano. Europe loves K-pop. Asia loves K-pop. The world loves K-pop. We are all in this together. So just shout out to all of my listeners and viewers. I see you tuning in every single week. That's amazing. I'm so grateful. Thank you for caring. Thank you for listening to my opinion and valuing what I'm doing here. It's a lot of hard work, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm so grateful to be here. Onces, blinks. I need those Twice fans. I need Blackpink fans. If you fall into either category, you've watched Fandom Face Off, you love the concept, you want to be a part of it, casting is still open. My casting is still open. So please shoot me an email. Let me know if you're a Blink or a Once and you want to participate in the next Fandom Face Off. I've got my judge lined up. This is a special one. So yeah, you're going to want to participate in this one. Please email me. Whatever is the easiest way to get in touch. If you're a Blink or a Once, it's time for that Fandom Face Off battle. Enough of me babbling. Let's get to the show because we have to talk about 10. I feel like this is one of those artists that almost all K-pop fans know who he is, but in case you don't, 10. 10 debuted in NCT in 2016. He's a member of Wavy. He is a member of Super M. This is one of the guys at SM and in the NCT world. He's had some singles, but this is officially his debut project. So 8 years after debuting with the company in groups, he's finally getting his solo. I know fans have been waiting for this and are very, very excited. He gave us 6 songs. It's called 10, the first mini album. Very self-explanatory. I feel like if I had an album, it'd be like, Emily, I'm here. Or it's me. Like, put some sass into that first title. Like, be scared, bitches. Like, do something. Do something. No shade. I'm just kidding. So the single is called Nightwalker. This is very interesting. Okay. Great bass line. I like the bass. I like the beat. The verses in this one feel very Taemin coded to me. I could picture Taemin singing this. I was like, okay. I vibe with this. I'm feeling it. There's some nice syncopation in there. And it feels like it's building to something really interesting. That pre-chorus. Yes. Sing at 10. I love the pre-chorus. It's probably my favorite part of this whole song. You have some interesting strings in there. Really beautiful and a great switch up. It's a special vocal moment. It's special. It's unique. I like this moment of the song. Really, really nice. And then the chorus drops. This is where I'm kind of on the fence. The chorus isn't what I was expecting. It's not as dynamic as the verses and that pre-chorus would lead me to believe. It works okay. It feels kind of like a chilled out Muse track, if you're familiar with the British group Muse, their rock group. But this really doesn't go anywhere. The chorus doesn't go anywhere. I can hear what they were going for, and I think they get really close, but it's not quite there. It doesn't get quite there. I like the instrumental bridge with those ad libs. That's cool. But I kept thinking when I was listening to this song, this was made for 10 to dance to. I bet the music video is going to be great because the song was just like, all right, but it didn't quite get there. But you can tell with the beat and the stuff going on, this was made for choreography. So let's talk about the music video. Yes. Okay. This music video is a little creepy. A little creep there, 10. Whoa. Very different. And I like that. I like that they're giving us a concept that you don't see with every K-pop group or artist. I review so much music and I watch so many music videos that, to be honest, they all start blending into one. You know, it's so similar. It's so similar. So it's always exciting when something's a little different. And this music video for Nightcrawler is very different. 10 gave us something where he plays a creepy kind of villain really well. 10 can really do that. And that's not necessarily what I would have thought of if I was like the creative director. It totally works. The choreography is menacing and cool, and it shows off his skill. If you don't know, 10 is an amazing dancer. In my eyes, that's what he's known for. And that's what I always kind of look out for when I'm watching Super M or Wavy or NCT. Like, here comes 10. He's going to kill the dance moves. He always does. The bridge part in the parking garage is awesome. Favorite part of the music video. It's what I pictured when I was listening to the song, and they execute it very, very well. Obviously, the dancers are great. But 10's a superstar. Styling wise, we get some dramatic looks. We get some different looks here, and I'm not mad at it. The one where he's like kind of the mad scientist, so different. That hair, the whole thing, that's kind of weird and unique for a K-pop video. You don't see that all the time. And it felt like something you would see in a K-drama, like, ooh, that guy's scary. That was really well done. I thought I liked the outfits. The black outfit in the parking garage was my favorite with like the cutouts. I also love the open chest silver pant look. That's like full villain mode. Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm never going to complain about that. He looks scary at the end. Can we talk about that? That moment where he looks down and looks back up and has this really scary smile. And maybe I'm wrong, but I think he didn't have any eyebrows. There was something facially that was very off putting. So, shout out to the creative team because it did kind of conjure up feelings of being uncomfortable and creeped out. And as much as I love 10, I don't want to run into that guy in a parking garage like ever. That's a nightmare. So, well done because normally I wouldn't say that. And I like this concept. I like that he's leaning in to a dark, creepy, weird concept. It's very far away from a cool, sexy, suave K-pop guy. And that's exciting. It's different. And again, I'm not sure if that's what I would picture with 10. 10 can do a lot of different things. So you can put him in a lot of different concepts and they would all work. This is great. And it goes with the song. The song is creepy. The song is stalking. I buy it. I buy the whole thing. This is yet another case of, for me, where the song was okay and the music video was really well done. I liked the music video more than the song. But I liked some of the songs on this project. So let's talk about my album picks. My standout tracks on 10's first mini album: Dangerous, Shadow, and Lie With You. Dangerous sounds like a Michael Jackson track. He actually, I think he has a song called Dangerous. But this one sounds like a Michael Jackson track, smooth funk, and I like this sound a lot for 10. Like Michael, 10 has a thinner voice that floats really well on a funky dance track like this. I couldn't stop dancing to this one. I couldn't stop listening to it. I came back to this one over and over again. And I just think, like, again, a thin voice isn't a knock. That doesn't mean bad. It's just the quality of it. Michael Jackson, I love Michael Jackson's voice. And it's very memorable. I think 10 can lean into this. And if he wants to do this vibe and this feel moving forward, it would be a smart move because with his instrument, it works really, really well. I loved this song. This is like, yes, yes. I was listening to the album and I was like, okay, okay. And when it got to Dangerous, I was like, finally, I like this. This is good, good. So Dangerous is a hit. Shadow is a mid-tempo R&B track. I love the beat, strong bass here. And I think where the bass really adds to it and works, it's a nice contrast to 10's kind of higher range. So there's a lot of really pleasing things to the ear with Shadow. I like those runs in the pre chorus. This track is pulled back. This is a little more mature and subdued, and I love it. I love this. I think, again, speaking of what I would do with 10, I like this. I think he can do R&B, he can do Michael Jackson dance funk. I lean into those songs the most, specifically with his vocal range. So this one I really liked. And I liked the grown, a little sexy from 10, a little grown, a little mature. Yeah, I'm here for this one. And then my last song, totally different. It's Lie With You. This wasn't all English, a very different sound from the rest of the album. But for me, the lyrics sold it. So it's kind of I think you can take it different ways. You can take it as like wishing a one night stand could be more. And you can also take it as maybe being in a relationship and knowing it's over, but kind of let me lie with you one more night. He says in the lyrics, I know we won't last, and you know it too. So, baby, while it lasts, let me lie with you. This reminds me so much of I Can't Make You Love Me by Bonnie Raitt. If you don't know that song, I'm going to put it in the playlist. You want to listen to the playlist, go over to Patreon. That song is like the saddest song ever in the history of songs. It's so sincere and simple and devastating. And there's a part in that song because she's kind of realizing her partner doesn't love her and he never will. And she has to kind of break up with him and move on. And it's so sad. And there's a part where she says, like, morning will come and I'll do what's right. Just give me till then to give up this fight. So very similar to the lyrics here. Like, let me lie with you one more night. We both know this isn't going to work, but let me just lay here next to you for one more night. Ugh. Ugh. That's so sad. That is so freaking sad. That is like devastating. Devastating. So I kind of thought that. And then I also thought if this is more of like a one night stand where he's just trying not to catch feelings, pretending he doesn't care or like the girl, but trying to stay in it as long as he can, that reminds me of Stay With You by Sam Smith. So there's a sentiment here that's really nice. And I think based on who you are and your experiences, you can relate to it in different ways. Great songwriting. Shout out to the songwriters on this one. This more indie rock sound, it fits with 10. I think if he wanted to go this direction, he could. It's not my favorite. I'm more of like an R&B, soul, hip hop, funk type of gal. So indie rock isn't totally my favorite thing. But the sentiment of this song is so well done. And it's interesting that it's heartbreaking, but you have this like poppy, happy sound musically. Interesting track. And I think even though I love Dangerous, Lie With You has stayed in my head the most. I think it has the catchiest hook on the album. So this is a good project. It's interesting though, because I think what works for it also works against it because it's maybe not the most cohesive album. There's a lot of different stuff. It's kind of like they're showing us, well, 10 can do this and he can do this and he can do this. I don't know. I don't know if we have an identity for 10 as a solo artist after this album. I think we know he can pull off different styles, and that's not a bad thing at all. But selfishly for me, I want to know who are you and have it be very clear and very focused. I think this project is lacking a true identity. So that's kind of my take on it. It's not bad at all. There's some great songs on here. But if I was to talk about the album as a whole, that's kind of the thing I walked away with. Like there's a lot of stuff going on here, and I'm still not quite sure who he is because from Nightcrawler to Lie With You, those songs couldn't be more different. And like you can have different songs that still tell a cohesive story or have a similar feeling. Listen to an album by The Weeknd, right? A Stray Kids album, very cohesive. We know who they are. And there's different styles in that. So there's a way to have different styles mixed into your specific identity and flair and have it all be cohesive. This is more completely different styles, completely kind of hand-picked tracks that are very different. And that's not a problem. A lot of people don't care. This is just my personal opinion and like what I want from a solo album. I want to know exactly who you are. And sometimes it's surprising. You're like, oh my goodness, this wasn't what I pictured, but he kills this. I think this one kind of goes all over the place. If I did an album with him, I'm doing Michael Jackson Rock With You. I'm doing that style, that feel, that whole essence, because I think it just feels so natural. Dangerous just felt so natural to me. That said, 10 is really talented. He can do a lot of different things. So it's not a bad thing to show off that he can do different genres, different sounds, different identities. I just want to know which one is the most true to him. And I think this was a good first solo project. I'm looking forward to what's next. It's time for my rankings from 10 solo debut release. 10, the first mini album. He gave us 6 songs. So these are my rankings from least favorite to favorite. Number 6 on 10. Number 5, Nightwalker. I loved the music video more than the song. Number 4, Water. Some cool elements in that song. Number 3, Shadow. Yes, I'm here for this R&B stuff. Number 2, Lie With You. And my number 1 song, the song I kept going back to, Dangerous. This is my favorite track off of 10's new album. He gave us a lot of different sounds, a lot of stuff going on in this album. It's a good project, and I'm sure fans will be really happy with it. So congratulations to 10 and his team. You guys did it. And now I'm just excited to see where he goes from here as a solo artist. 10 can go in so many directions based on the sounds on this album. I'm excited to see the next project and kind of where this takes him. Moving on, it's time to talk about a young boy group. These young boy groups, fifth generation boy groups, are so talented. The amount of great groups that debuted in 2023 has me optimistic for the future of K-pop. This was a recommendation from listener D. Thank you so much, D, for recommending these guys. I really appreciate you. It's an 8-member boy group. They debuted in January of 2023 under MNH Entertainment. They range in age from 16 to 22. So this is a young group. Jaehyun's the leader. He was on survival shows Boys 24 and Mix 9. He's a New Zealander, so he's great as an international leader. The EP is called Stunning. Ooh, I like that name. Good name. They gave us 5 songs, and the single is Ru-pum. First, I want to say congratulations. They just celebrated their 1-year anniversary. It's not easy to debut. Amazing. Let's talk about this single. I like the drawn out phrasing at the start of the pre-chorus. There's some really nice, not vocal fry, but you know what I mean, type of stuff. I loved that. I think it's cool and it's kind of filled with attitude. Sunghyun has this aggressive rap flow that goes really well with the track. And the more I listen to them and watch their stuff, that's his vibe. And it's amazing that he's the youngest. He's the baby of this group because he has a real confidence well beyond his years. That flow, that sound, it's a little reminiscent of Jew Honey, which is a massive compliment coming from me. So that was very cool. Some nice runs and ad-libs from Youngho. Youngho is good. He can sing, and his stuff stood out to me. And what I really liked, he did some ad-libs that were very controlled. Vocal control, not belting, not kind of the normal show-off stuff that we're used to with runs and ad-libs. There were really subtle moments that made me lean forward, that made me perk up and go, who is that? Yeah, I hear you. You're good. The song seems to be maybe a little more like hip hop heavy, a little more rap heavy, which I'm never mad at. The Ru-pum thing, we've heard that a lot in K-pop. It reminds me more recently of RIIZE, Talk Sexy. So I might have done something different lyrically. I think that might be a little played, but they do a good job performing it, and I think it's an okay song. I think there are better songs on the album. I'm excited to talk about the rest of this project, but Ru-pum was just okay for me with some nice elements kind of sprinkled in, some good moments. But the music video, let's talk about this music video. First of all, the fact that they're all blonde, oh my God, yes, 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 yes. Love it. I love it. Maybe you're a new K-pop fan and you're not that familiar, but for comebacks, the idols always have a different hairstyle. Every single group, every single time. It's a different hairstyle. It's a huge deal. They hide their hair so fans don't know. It's going to be different colors, different cuts, all of that stuff. But it's kind of rare that a group will have the same color, all members having the same color hair. Traditionally, you see a lot of dark hair. They all might have their natural hair. But I can't remember the last time it's been all blonde. I think maybe like second gen. So this was fun. This was fun. And I love a blonde idol. I love it. When it works, oh my God, it's my favorite hair. I love it. And not just because I'm blonde. Uh, but I just think it's great. So I loved that. I thought that was very cool. And they all have like, what was really smart was they all have different tones and different haircuts and styles. So there's still some individuality, even with the blonde hair. And I liked that as well. I thought that was really smart. Kudos to the styling team. This was very memorable. This is a good looking group. I think they have a lot of really strong visual aspects in this group. Shout out to Myungho. He had a glow up with this blonde Nick Carter hair. Ooh, love it. I absolutely loved it. Really, really like it. He reminds me a little bit of Jay from Enhypen. Maybe like a similar facial structure, more so when he had dark hair that was kind of pushed back. But now it's this blonde Nick Carter, and I'm here for it. I like the choreography. That choreography, all the choreography is really good for this song. Watch like the live performances, the weekly show performances. This group can dance. But the choreography in the bridge, they do this kind of slow clock opening with their arms. It is so cool. It's so cool. I absolutely loved that. And then the ending chorus choreography, they do this almost like hangman thing. Really cool. They're skipping backwards. I know my description probably doesn't do it justice, but it's really rhythmic. It feels different. It's fun to watch. A lot of energy. I like the boxing stuff in the choreography. In total, I thought like this is a great dance group and this choreography is great. They really brought it. The styling works. The styling works. Like thinking back, I just mentioned Nick Carter. They have this one look that's like sweaters and khakis. That is quintessential 90s boy band. Obviously Backstreet Boys, but I also was thinking about like Boys to Men. This felt very 90s boy band, and obviously I'm here for it. So I liked the styling. I thought the whole thing was great. I think the music video works very well. Yeah, I'm here for this one. But I want to talk about the other songs on the album because just like 10, I think for this release from 8 Turn, the title track wasn't as strong as some of the songs on the album. So my standout tracks were Nom, We Hear, and Glow. Nom has this like twangy country guitar. Almost sounds like a slide guitar at points. There's some like Western sass in this song, and I'm not mad at it. The chorus is by far my favorite part. I love it when they say, "Come and get it, outlaw." It's fun. I think the verses and the pre chorus lose kind of the country fun element of the song that for me makes it really memorable. But the chorus, yes, I'm here. I'm here for it. I wish the whole song just kind of stayed in that realm. It's great. It's great. And it's interesting to hear the country influence. I like country music. That surprises people because I'm such a like hip hop head, but I love country music. I think there's a lot of good country out there. And it's so fun to hear the influence in K-pop songs. Everyone loves country. Country is huge. And it's fun to hear, you know, songs like this. I was here for it. And I like the cowboy Western thing. I'm an outlaw. That's a fun concept to play with. I'd love to see that as like a title track and do a whole Western music video. Like think about what Psy and Suga did. That was fun. That was cool. I like that concept. Maybe it's time for more of that in K-pop. I feel like country concepts are going to be the thing maybe for 2024. I don't know if you all saw Beyonce. She just dropped 2 new songs and they are very heavily country. Beyonce, K-pop, country is taking over. But I like Nom. I think that's a good song and it's different. And yes. My next one is We Hear. This is a good mood song. You know how much I love those happy, good mood songs that really conjure up feelings of joy and positivity and hope. Funky guitar, nice groove. I like the melody in the verses. Beautiful vocal moments in the pre chorus. And then you have that celebratory chorus. I'm fond of choruses like that. And this song really felt complete and full and just happy. This is just one of those, happy songs that made me feel joyful. And I don't know, I just really liked this. I like this song so much. And then my last song is Glow. This one is another happy track, a little bit more subdued, a little bit more restrained, mid-tempo, but there's some really nice layering happening, nice harmonies in this one. Another kind of full sound. Just a great vibe. This is a really good song. So there's some good songs on this 8-turn release. I think the landscape's kind of hard for these young boy groups because there's so many and they're very good. And if you're a group like 8-turn who's not on one of the big four labels, it's even harder. That makes it that much harder. So this is a group I would recommend. Check them out. They have a different vibe, a different feel. This is why I love your recommendations. And this is why I love giving groups like this their flowers. Because there are a lot of groups who are so talented and worthy who don't get the attention they deserve. And I not only want to celebrate groups from SM, Hybe, JYP, YG, but I want to celebrate groups from smaller labels who are doing a lot with less resources and they don't maybe have the resources for giant PR campaigns. I got you. I got you. If you're from one of those labels, reach out. I got you. But more importantly, my listeners and my viewers reach out because you guys are on the tip of all of this. So I'm really grateful that D turned me on to 8-turn. They're a good group. Check them out. There's some good stuff here. It's time for my rankings from 8-turn's latest comeback. They gave us 5 songs. The EP is called Stunning. These are my rankings from least favorite to favorite. Number 5, The Game. Number 4, the title track, Ru-pum. Number 3, Glow. My number 2 song was Nom. Love that country influence. Keep it coming. But my number 1 song, and I think I'm going to say by far on this album, was We Here. I love the feel. I love the vibe. Congratulations, 8-turn. This was a nice project. And major, major, major shout out for the blonde hair. I am so here for the blonde hair comeback. Yes, 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 yes. Like all blonde. I love it. And I would love to see this with other groups with different colors. You could do all red, you could do all blue, purple. Think about, you guys, think about the possibilities. This could be so fun. If I was a stylist for a group, that's what I'd be doing right now. I'd be like, we're all going to be shades of orange. But the blonde really worked. I thought that was cool. Let's get to biases before I move on. It's probably obvious because I feel like I've talked about one member way more than the other ones. But this member stood out to me vocally and then also visually. So my bias in this group, it's Myungho. Great. And then my wrecker, I kind of went back and forth with wreckers, but there was one member that stood out because he reminded me of Soobin, who was my wrecker from T by T, and that was Heyman. So he is my wrecker. But with these groups that I've reviewed for the first time, sometimes the bias and wreckers change, just like all of you listening and watching. The more you absorb a group, the more you see them, all of a sudden you're like, wait, his personality is kind of more up my alley. So these are subject to change, but Myung Ho can sing. He has a very strong presence. So I don't know. That might be my bias in 8-turn moving forward. Do you stand 8-turn? Have you ever heard of them? Is this like your introduction to them as well? Let me know. Let me know what you think of 8-turn. I'm going to put some questions on the Patreon. Link is in the description. But yeah, I vibe with them. I vibe with them, and I will definitely be looking forward to their next release. Moving on, before we get to the news, I want to give Soobin, since I just mentioned him, Soobin deserves a major shout out. He just released a cover of a song called Forest from Choi Yu-ri. Beautiful. Ugh. Ugh, Soobin. It is so, so, so beautiful, you guys. And the music video for it, Soobin is too slept on. And I think my theory on why Soobin is slept on, I think he's too humble. I think Soobin is so humble in his talent that he's happy to take a back seat and let somebody else be front and center. Stop. I understand taking a back seat sometimes, and we all should, and you should let other people shine. But I think sometimes people are afraid to shine brightly because maybe they haven't been received well and they dim their light to fit in or to be liked or whatever the case. And I'm not saying that's the case with him, but I think Soobin is so bright. He is such a star. I want more from him. This is stunning and beautiful. And if you look at the line distribution for T by T, you wouldn't believe that this guy's not like the main vocalist. And no shade to any of those members because there's a lot of talent in that group. But Soobin, this was beautiful. A Valentine's Day gift for us all. Thank you so much. I took it personally. Thank you. Yep, I will gladly accept that song as my Valentine's Day gift. Thank you so much. How considerate of you. Okay, enough delusions from me over here. But you guys check that out. Just go to YouTube, type in Soobin. Yes, loved it. Loved it. And he deserves his flowers. So I am going to be here to shout out things like that. Let's move on to some K-pop news because a lot has happened since I spoke with you last week. Here's what's going on in the world of K-pop. Lisa from Blackpink was cast in season 3 of White Lotus on HBO. This makes so much sense. If you haven't watched White Lotus, it's about a group of people who vacation somewhere beautiful and exotic and interesting. And then usually something happens and everyone has to guess, like, there's like a murder or something and you're trying to figure out who did it. Last season, it was in Italy and it was gorgeous. And I believe the third season will be in Thailand. So it really makes sense to cast Lisa. What a great opportunity. Congratulations to her. The Blackpink girls have something going here with HBO. No shade to Jennie, but I have a feeling White Lotus will be better than The Idol. She did great. The show just wasn't my cup of tea. Congratulations, Lisa. Congratulations to Shonu. Shonu just made his Fashion Week debut walking in a show in New York City, and he killed it. And he looked great. He has a good model walk. Shonu can do this for real if he wanted to. He has that like chiseled face and had a really great walk. So that was amazing. Kino from Pentagon was there. Yeah, very cool. And then Daehyun from Twice attended the Michael Kors show and she looked phenomenal. She looked like so good. Like there's a picture of her next to all these famous celebrities, all these women who are very well known and established in the world of entertainment. And it's like your eye just goes to her. Like she's stunning. So shout out to her. The Twice ladies are killing it right now. Look at these Twice and Blackpink ladies killing it. This is why we need to do Fandom Face Off and talk about them and celebrate them. IU, the popular IU, she has a comeback coming. And she released the song and music video with Tae from BTS, super popular. He looked stunning, not surprising. But then something happened. Okay, the title track for the album, she released a music video teaser. And it was very obvious to me and other fans who the male love interest is in this one. And it was also very obvious who directed it because I think he has a very specific identity that's noticeable. What I was talking about with 10 and kind of knowing who you are as a solo artist. This guy, you know his stuff. I'm talking about DPR Ian. So IU had DPR Ian direct her video for her title track. He directs the music video and he stars in it with her. All right. Look. IU is clearly on a personal mission to have all of my biases as love interests in her music videos. With Tae from BTS, fine. I've gone back and forth between Tae and Jungkook. That's fine. Also, he's, Tae from BTS. A lot of people want him in their music video. But this is like a deep cut. This is a deep cut. You all know how much I vibe with DPR Ian. I love him. I think he's literally brilliant. I mean, part of me is jealous, but then part of me is like, IU, congratulations on your taste. That is taste. You have taste. So I can't even hate. I can't even hate. We're in this together. Plus, let's be real, DPRian is a visionary. So if I was a solo artist and I needed to come up with a music video, why not call him? He's going to give you the coolest, most interesting concept that these other idols definitely aren't doing. Yeah, looking forward to that one. I think I might have to review IU's new album now. Something I didn't mention last week that I wanted to, but sometimes you forget. Stray Kids have had a small break recently. Well overdue. Good for them. And they're all doing different stuff as one does on their break. Some people stay at home, some people go out. Bang Chan is in Australia. He got to go home and be with his family, which amazing. That's always such a refreshing thing. I don't know about you guys, but anytime, especially in my adult life, when I'm tired and stressed and worn out and life has been lifing, it's always been a relief for me to go home and stay at my parents' house for a week or whatever and just decompress a bit. So I was happy for Chan seeing that. But the one that I thought was most interesting and worth pointing out, and I did on social media, but I want to make sure I do it on air. Felix went with UNICEF to Laos and volunteered on a humanitarian mission. What? Oh my God. Imagine how tired you are and you finally get a break. And instead of taking a break, you go and do that. That's not an easy thing to do. That's physically exhausting, but also very emotionally taxing. So shout out to Felix. I don't know how anyone in the world could hate that guy. That's just he's like the sweetest, nicest person. Yes. Yes. And a great example. A lot of times pop stars, and not just pop stars, athletes, celebrities, they'll say well, I didn't sign up to be anybody's role model, blah, blah, blah. Some of them get very defensive about being a role model, but you are a role model. And when you're in a K-pop group, you're a role model. And when you're Stray Kids who are at their level of success and fame, boy, are they role models to everyone, not just children. I'm looking at them and thinking, yeah, I need to up my game. I need to volunteer more. I need to do this, this, and this. These are role models, whether you like it or not. And to see the way Stray Kids have handled themselves under immense pressure and stress, I'm just so proud to stay on that group. I'm just so proud of them. And I'm so proud of Felix. Yes. So, anyways, I just wanted to get on air and give him a shout out and make sure everyone's aware of the type of person he is and why so many stays feel very passionately about that group. Sticking with Stray Kids, congratulations to them. They've been on the Billboard Artist 100 chart for over a year. This is 53 weeks. And Rockstar has set on the Billboard 200 for 13 consecutive weeks. Again, K-pop, it's on the charts here. It dominates the charts sometimes. Stray Kids leading the pack. Congratulations to them. They are releasing a new song. It's part of an advertisement for Coke, I think, with ITZY, NMIX, and JYP. That'll be interesting. What if it's Sweet Dreams Part 2? I would love that, actually. If you know, you know. If you know, you know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, I'm moving on. April comeback from Boy Next Door was just announced. Boy Next Door, another super talented fifth generation boy group. I'm obsessed with them. I think they're so, so good. Of course, I'll be reviewing that. Congratulations to TWS. They just had their debut and they got their first win for Plot Twist. I loved that debut, obsessed with that music video. Not surprised it's doing really well in Korea. Congratulations to them. Welcome home to Chan from Ace. He was discharged today. But this is kind of awkward because Ace has a comeback. In 2 weeks, on February 22nd, we're getting new music from Ace. If you haven't listened to Ace, they're one of my favorite groups. Talk about vocal kings. They do so many covers. Go on YouTube and watch their covers. Youngblood's my favorite, but they have a bunch that are phenomenal. Anyways, and their original music is so good. They're a group. Talk about slept on groups. I know that I highlighted them in my year-end slept on groups list, but I feel like they're the group I'm never going to stop highlighting and talking about. I love them. Anyways, They have a comeback on the 22nd. Of course, I'm reviewing it. We've got some great comebacks at the end of this month, but only 4 of them are participating in the comeback. I guess they recorded everything already. Now we're only 2 weeks out. So Chan, who got out of the military today, won't be participating in the comeback. That's really poor planning. That's really poor planning. You could have pushed that comeback back a month and a half and gotten it all done. Yikes. I don't know. I don't know why that was the decision, but it's perplexing to fans who have been waiting years to have all 5 of them back together. Disappointing. But welcome back to him. I don't want to rain on that parade. It's very exciting that he's home. Members of RIIZE launched personal Instagrams this week. That's always fun. You get much more of a feel of people's personalities. I loved when BTS launched theirs, and some of the members were posting every day, and other ones just like never posted. No, that would be me. If any of you have found my personal Instagram, I never post. I post like stories, but I never post posts. It always feels like, I don't know, I'm weird about posting and sharing. And honestly, just taking pictures of myself, yikes. That is not my vibe. I feel like, no, I'm just not one to like take a bunch of selfies. It's just like not my vibe. No shade to anyone. We all have different personalities on social media. So it'll be fun to see the ITZY girls, what their personalities are like, who's the most active, who's very chill, who posts a lot of pictures of themselves versus pictures of the scenery or what they're doing. All of those things I think can tell you a lot about people. This is so funny. I have to mention it. Okay. You all know I really like RIIZE. I'm a big fan of RIIZE. And RIIZE created their own doll stuffed animals. This is a thing in K-pop. This made me think immediately to BTS. I don't know if you guys remember the Run BTS episode where they created their BT21 characters. It's one of my all-time favorites because you actually watch them drawing and talking about it. They really created them. So RIIZE did the same thing. Their characters are so funny. A couple of them are like the funniest things I've ever seen. I don't know if you can see in this picture, but a few of them are really funny. Shitaro and Unsox kill me. They're all like, I love it. I love these. So I have a feeling these will be very popular among the RIIZE fans. I may have to buy 1 or 2. These are, yes, this is my group. You know, when like a group matches your personality and your vibe, RIIZE. RIIZE, I think, yeah, they get me. Because I feel like this is the type of stuff I would draw. If someone's like, make a character for yourself, it would not be cute. It would be a little weird. It'll be a little weird. I do know that there's a lot of fan discourse over this. People are upset about Wanbin's character, saying it looks too similar to maybe Lino's character. I think we have to show some grace in that as fans, because Lino's, you could have said, looked too similar to Cookie from BTS. At this point, everyone's kind of trickling down and copying a concept that works. So, you know, I'm a huge stay, but I'm not mad at that. I don't think that's something. And, you know, AT's, theirs have come out and people are saying they're copying. I totally get it. And I think I would be more cognizant of like, well, that group, we have a lot of bunnies. Maybe I'm not going to do bunny, or maybe I won't do a duck that's just like Felix. Maybe do something different. I get that 1,000,000%. But I think when it comes to these kind of plushies and dolls that represent members, it's part of the deal now. It's part of the game. I love what RIIZE did. They took the original BTS idea of creating your own and really ran with it. These are very unique and very different. So it's just dolls at the end of the day. It's just fun. Let's allow people to have fun. But I might buy these. I don't know. I'm kind of here for these. We have another exciting debut next week. Cha Eun-woo. You know him. I know him. We all love him. The most handsome man in Korea. Astro member. We're getting a solo debut from him. And based on the teasers, I'm kind of already obsessed. My expectations are high. I hope the music's good because this is highly, highly anticipated. Also, speaking of highly anticipated, the queens of 2023, La Seraphim, massive comeback. There's a lot to talk about. In the next couple of weeks, we have tons of comebacks. I will be covering them all. You might have to wait a week or so for some of them, but don't worry, I'll get to it. I want to extend a happy belated Valentine's Day to all of you. I'm recording this on Valentine's Day. So in that case, you are my Valentine. Yay! Thank you for sharing Valentine's Day with me. I'm very grateful to have you as my Valentines. Valentine's Day is like one of those holidays that some people hate, some people love. I've never gotten bent out of shape about it either way. I don't really think it's like that big of a deal because I truly believe we can show love to one another and love to ourselves every single day. It doesn't have to be a special day, but it's nice to have a reminder to celebrate love. So, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're celebrating love. And it doesn't have to be with a partner. I see so many people get so sad on Valentine's Day because they're single. Celebrate that because one day you're going to be with someone and be like, oh, I wish he was out of the house. He's annoying the out of me, you know? Like, celebrate. So, or maybe you'll be single and you'll be happy because it's possible. As I've gotten older, I let go of those feelings. I kind of look back at young Emily and think I used to like be depressed on Valentine's Day if I didn't have a boyfriend. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Now, partner or not, I celebrate Valentine's Day and I do it by celebrating myself and taking care of myself and showing maybe a little extra self care that day. It reminds me of like greatest love of all, Whitney Houston is learning to love yourself. If you watch Drag Race, if you don't love yourself, how the hell is anyone else going to love you? The signing off thing that RuPaul says, there's some truth to that. There's some truth to that. So I hope you love yourself. I hope you're learning to love yourself. And there's so many examples in K-pop of that message that have resonated with me throughout the years. It's there. It's there. Show yourself the love that you wish you get from others, and it will change your life. Trust me on that. Enough of my Emily's life lessons or whatever my babbling is. I just impart a little bit of wisdom from my life because I've been through it. I'm older than I look, and I never want people to feel bad or feel sad. And this year, you had a Valentine. If you didn't have Valentine, I'm your Valentine because I spent my Valentine's Day night with you recording the episode, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm grateful to be here with you, to all of my listeners from around the world, to my viewers from around the world. Thank you. Thank you for welcoming me into your life and for listening to what I have to say and for our friendship, because I know from listening to podcasts and watching podcasts, you feel like you know the person and you have a personal relationship. I understand that, and we do. And I'm really grateful to have you in my life. So thank you so much. If you want to be in the next Phantom Face Off, don't forget, casting will be closing soon and we've got to get this show recorded. So slide into the DMs, shoot me an email. I'm looking for a once and a blank. It's Blackpink versus Twice. It's positive. There's nothing negative. There's nothing below the line. We celebrate these artists we love. We make friends with one another. There's always a cool, fun guest judge. Check out Phantom Face Off if you haven't. The first two were awesome. Now it's time for the girl groups. Thank you to everyone who's joined the Patreon, shown me support. I really, really appreciate it. If you want to be part of the community, click on that Patreon link. You can join as a free member. The paid tiers have some extra fun benefits. I hope you're happy and healthy and doing well. I'm sending you tons of love on this Valentine's Day. February is going to be over before you know it. This year is going too fast. I want to pause time. I will be back next week. A couple big releases next week to celebrate. I'm interested in what you think about 8 Turn, about 10's debut. 10's debut is big news. It's doing well on the charts. Did you like it or hate it? There's going to be some poll questions. Don't you worry. If you have a group you want to hear me talk about or review, please reach out. Check out the Patreon. There's a whole section for this. Leave a comment. I will try my best to accept your request and get that group on the show. I'm happy to shine a light on groups from smaller labels who don't get the press that the big four get. So please don't be shy. Or is there a group from one of the big four labels you've never heard me talk about that you're dying to hear my opinion? I don't discriminate. That's not what this show is about. It's a welcoming place for not only viewers and listeners, but also K-pop groups and solo acts. So reach out. I'm happy to hear your suggestions. Thank you to everyone who has. Thank you to everyone who's joined the Patreon and everyone who's been so active in this community. I've been doing this now for 5 months exactly, which is crazy. How is this episode 20? It feels like I've been doing it for 3 weeks. So it's getting there. The show will continue to get better. I'm working really hard on it, and I really appreciate all of your love and support. Thank you for joining me for another week. Until next week, take care of yourselves, love yourselves, focus on you for a little bit. A little bit of self-care never hurt anyone. I love you, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.